Join me here. Ben's got a new book coming out titled Uncommon and Unfinished, the Ben Troupe Story. Ben, welcome and congrats on the book, man.
Man, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for having me. The book was a long time coming. And BJ Bennett, the guy who, co-host of the show with me on 3 and Out, me, him, and Kevin Thomas, he really came to me a long time ago. This was a long process, but while the pandemic, while it shut everything down, it kind of gave me and BJ a chance to really do this book and really first and foremost, to every author out there, I apologize because you think you know what this process is. It's not the writing of the book, it's the editing of the book. So to all my professors that taught me English, all my English teachers, I hope I did y'all proud, but I apologize. The subject and the predicate and all these different things. Thank God BJ was there, but it's here, man. I'm really, really proud of it. And I think that everybody who gets a chance to read it going to learn a lot about me, but learn even more about the people that helped groom me.
Well, and I know that football is going to be a huge part of this story, obviously, but it's also a large part about your life and your journey beyond just the football field. So what kind of journey is a reader going to go on as they pick up this book?
It's going to be a winding road. It's going to be a love story between a father and son, a young man becoming a grown man, fatherhood, transitioning from the NFL, finding my way, finding my purpose. I've always been attached to one thing. My identity was attached in football only. I had to figure out who I was away from the game while also deciding to walk away from the game at a very, very young age and early age. But one of the main things they're going to take from it is how appreciative I am of all the teammates and the coaches and the friends and the family, because Brandon, a lot of times, I'm the one getting cheered for, right? Hey, Ben, where's Ben at? Let's take some pictures. Let's take some autographs. And the people that I'm with have to stand by while I'm, getting celebrated. And it took me a long time to understand that everybody, they cheering for you and they loving that, but they also want their shine as well. So this is how I pull them in with me. So when they want an autograph, this is how I say, hey, man, this is my brother. This is my sister. This is my mom. This is my dad. These are my children. This is my niece and nephew. This is my friend. Because when you've always gotten celebrated, you think that's normal until you get away from the game and realize, no, man, you just had a moment in time to where your name was one of the biggest names. You were one of the biggest athletes. So it's a gigantic thank you letter. There are going to be some people that's going to read this book that have no idea they're in the book. They have no idea the things and the conversations we've had. I mean, I've had some great teammates, right? But when I say a great teammate, people think you got to be a Pro Bowler or first team All-SEC or an All-American. What I consider great, they might not even see themselves that way. And that's what I'm looking forward to be able to say, Ben, I ain't even know you knew this about me or you thought this way about me. I said, well, now the whole world knows. And that's what I wanted. This may be the only book I ever write. I hope it's not. But if it is, I want to make sure that everybody in it knows how much I care about him, how much I appreciate him, because I'm a country boy from Swainsboro, Georgia, Brandon. I didn't grow up with, I went from small buildings to the skyscrapers. I went from dirt road to paved roads. I went from, to knowing everybody in my town to not knowing anybody at all. So to be where I am, you hear the Ben Troupe story and that kind of gets you in. You see the orange and the blue colors, you think, oh, I know what this is about. Yeah, you do, right? But it's like a Quentin Tarantino film, man. You have no clue what you finna get in this thing. But I am super duper proud of it. I am super duper humbled to be able to put it out there. And I had 5 grandparents, a great grandmother, 2 grandmothers, and 2 grandfathers. They all obviously all of them have moved on to glory now. None of them are here now. But that's when I'm writing with them in mind, saying that, well, that boy again, this boy. So I get to do that because of them. I come from some great people, man. So I'm very, very humbled by it. Very, very excited about this project because never ever saw myself doing a lot of things. Never going to Florida, not no NFL. So somebody goes, well, listen, man, I've already done some old crazy stuff. People think I can just naturally do stuff. I said, nah, man, it's always gonna be about the people helping me do it. Thank God for BJ Bennett, because this boy loves to write. Because if I had to write it, it probably ain't coming out till Texas and Oklahoma come over to the SEC. It's gonna be about 4 years from now which that's probably not going to be either. But nah, it's the best,
No, I
Brandon,
don't
man.
think so. So Ben, how does that work then? So you've got BJ Bennett who helps you write this. You just sit there and you're just spitting out stories and he's jotting it down. Is that how this goes?
Oh my God, no. So BJ, all right. So we work with each other every day, and BJ said, "I literally had to become you. Like I'm listening to you, and I'm." Obviously we went back to Swainsboro, where I'm from, in Augusta, and obviously BJ knows my sports history, but being around me, seeing the type of father I am, the type of son or cousin I am, or, sibling I am, him just really, he had to be in my mind. Cause you can give BJ 10 footnotes and he'll give you 10 chapters, right? But it's the parts of me that he had to pull out of me. All right, man. Like, this isn't gonna be here's being true born September 1st night. No. The very first sentence of the book, you're gonna be like, wait, what? It's gonna snap you, because we didn't do a chronological order type book. We did something. Listen, we'll start here and go back there. It's like going back and forth, but BJ is really, really good at making sure the integrity of the book is there. We ain't sensationalizing anything. We ain't fabricating anything. I mean, I'm not going to look like no superhero in this book now. People going to be like, what? But if I'm going to put a book out, I'm going to tell the truth. This is what people didn't know. This is anybody, they know the Ben Troupe. You're going to learn about Benjamin. In this book, you're going to learn about me and what I hold dear. But listen, man, me and BJ, we almost killed each other, man, because I'm telling you, this stuff is crazy. I mean, we doing stuff like this every other day. We at each other's houses. We was and when the book was finally done, like when it was finally done, I mean, I felt like an editor at a newspaper. I'm talking about, you've edited every little thing, but I think it took that. I think it really, really made us, brought us closer as friends. But at the same time, without BJ, I got to pay a ghostwriter. So I was, and if you ever had a ghostwriter, people, for a book, I hope you got LeBron money, because my God, these guys cost a lot of money. They really, really do. But BJ told me something, man, that, you learned about stuff. BJ said he wanted to do 3 things in his life. He said he wanted to get married, check. He said he wanted to have children, check. He said he wanted to write a book. Now, he told me this while we're writing. I said, come on, man, you don't got to come at me with the sentimental stuff. But that's how serious it was for both of us. So if his name was attached to my name forever now, and I wouldn't have did it with nobody else. Troupe Publishing up there in Nashville, Tennessee, Timothy Bond, the guy who published my book, really took me under his wing, told me that, because, Brandon, people want to hear, people see, these quote celebrities doing books, and people start thinking all these big names, Amazon, all these. I said, well, listen, man, I was a big name at one point. So I wanted to go with a publishing company that was going to bring me under their wing and really give me the ropes, tell me the truth. If it becomes a New York Times bestseller, I'm going to still be me. My kids going to still want the iPhone 20. They ain't going to care. And that's what I got from this book, man. It's how can I say, thank you, Ron Zook. Thank you, Steve Spurrier. Thank you, Class of 2000. Thank you, Florida. Thank you, Tennessee. Thank you, Tampa Bay. And I did that in 213 pages. So as many names as in it, that's how many names couldn't be in it. Not that I didn't want them in it, but I didn't want no 1,500 word, a page book. I want people to read it. But it's gonna be fun, man. Hopefully you'll learn something about yourself, hearing about me, because that's what I want. The human side of who I am, the part that people like. LeBron is human, right? But people can't see that because he's LeBron. Hopefully in my book you'll say, wait a minute, he does that too. He went through that too. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
So I'll jump around a little bit too. And I'm sure you cover this in your book. I followed your college career, your NFL career, and then, you drifted off into your next venture. What happened? You were a productive NFL tight end. How did your career come to an end so quickly?
The NFL is a business. And I look at the NFL like this. NFL is like a golfer who don't know what he's doing. He just want to make contact with the ball. So I'm at the tee and I'm going, wham, this thing is going, but it's not going straight. It's just, this thing is all in the woods, but I just want to make contact. So that's how I was when I was, first and second year at pro. Then all of a sudden, hey man, if I'm gonna be your swing coach, man, you got to start taking this thing serious. And the problem with taking the NFL serious is the business hits you like that. Now these things was going on my rookie year, my second year, but all of a sudden, guys that I'm close to getting cut. I watched Steve McNair be told. I watched Steve McNair. I walk in the building before him. We had this guy named Taki and this guy named Joey. Taki is about 5 feet tall. Joey might be 5'1". So one is a trainer, one is a equipment, and they stood behind the door and didn't let Steve McNair in. They let me in and didn't let him in. That's the business. I watched Aaron Kinney, my saving grace. The only reason why I had any inkling of a career get cut. And the thing is, I'm watching. So now, oh man. So now I went from real casual, carefree to now I'm serious. And I tell people this, and this is coming from me. Football is a child's game. You get paid a king's ransom, but it's a child's game. Once it become a business, I said, man, this ain't for me anymore. Now, I enjoyed every minute of it. Now, I did. I played with Keith Bullock and Samari Roll and Brad Hopkins and Kevin Mawai and Derek Brooks and Rondé Barber, Jeff Garcia, Brian Greasy, Pac-Man Jones, Lindell White, Vince Young. So the list goes on. But the more I did it, the more I realized, man, I got to do something else. The reason why I said I had to do something else was not because I wasn't good enough to play. I didn't want to cheat the game. I didn't want to be out there because I could. Because I could. I could have played 10 years, 15 years. But I didn't know that even though I walked away, how hard the transition would be. Because my life had been structured for so long. Now, I got to pay my own bills. I ain't got no financial people. I got to be to this meeting on time. I got to put in, I'm trying to get a job. People think, oh man, you just going to, you could just go into TV, go into radio. With what skill set? Because I could tell a couple of stories. Because I know about, because I played for Spurrier. And that's the one thing I had to realize is I got to start from the bottom again because my expertise is athletic. It's not business. It's just you get paid a lot of money when you're a pro. But at the same time, why would a program director hire me just because I'm being Troupe? I'm going to get him fired. His family going to suffer. My family going to suffer. But in the process of going through that transition, I met BJ Bennett, who's writing a book with me. He presented radio to me in a way. I had a radio show when I was for 2 years in the NFL. It was called Hang Tight with Aaron Kinney and Ben Troupe, and we ain't do nothing. Man, we had a show host. He gave us some alley-oop type questions. Yep. They paid us to do it. We show up at YMCAs and fire departments. It wasn't real. But when they got presented to me in my BJ, it sparked my interest, and I stuck with it. And I was going on all these shows, doing all these cameos. I was working at Bloomingdale's in New York City, in Soho, off of Crosby and Blooming, and I'm opening up the store over here with the UPS dude trying to bring in the stuff on the phone, trying to do a show. But it did something to me, and in the process, when people say it's not coincidental where you end up, it's how it all starts. So BJ Bennett, forget the book is just a icing on the cake. This man saved my life because he gave me a second career. Now, could I do something? I was loving working at Bloomingdale's, man. I loved it. I'm not going to act like I didn't.
What were you doing at Bloomingdale's?
I was an asset protection. Man. I was security. They call it nice things, right? They call it. First, I was loss prevention detective. Then I went to because everything now, Brandon, is all about politically correct. They said, wait a minute, loss prevention. Won't we call you an asset protection detective? Yeah, because everything in here is an asset. But I love that, man. I was living up there in New Jersey at the time, man, before I transitioned back down south. But I wouldn't change none of it. I'm not one of those people to say, obviously there are things I could have done better. But man, I don't end up here. I don't end up what I'm doing. I mean, doing public speaking and having my own nonprofit and really, really embracing this thing called fatherhood, because that's talked about in the book. Like people go, "Oh, Ben, you got a kid." I say, "Yeah, man." And hopefully now I'm a much better daddy than I was. I'm vulnerable in this book, man. I'm embracing vulnerability in a way that men don't do. I can't speak for the ladies, but for us guys, the way we're just naturally built, I'm putting that. You know how Brandon, if you read something, if I sent you something and you looking at it and you look at it and go, you sure you want to? You sure? Yeah, because that's my growth, man. I've grown so much through vulnerability, man. I've understood that if I can do it, because I know that my story is not unique to me. I know that my story is probably attached to a lot of guys' stories. And when they see that, they're like, okay, all right, Troupe, you going to really put that out there? Yeah, because somebody's going to ask me if it's fabricated. Hey, man, you said I don't got to fabricate it. It's all built in. But it's great, man. I'm loving what I'm doing now. The NFL was a blessing, man. It was the greatest. I mean, having people wear your jersey and sign autographs, getting paid to play football. That was a great benefit too. Catch a touchdown pass from Steve McNair and Vince Young, running a fake punt against the Ravens and getting tackled by Ed Reed, scoring a touchdown against Troy Polamalu, scoring a touchdown against Brian Dawkins, getting the soul knocked out you by Ray Lewis. It was beautiful.
It's so great
man.
to hear you geek out about that the same way that I would, having never experienced any of those things.
Man, I caught a pass against Zach Thomas one time, man. He would chase me down the field. Got to play against former teammates like Channing Crowder and Bobby McCray and Gus Scott, Terry Jackson, who was at Florida before me. I got too many memories, man. Too many great memories. Never won a Super Bowl, got to play in the playoffs. I saw like Sylvester Stallone and the Terminator over there on the sideline, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've had some. I got to go to the rookie premiere with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger and D'Angelo Hall and Larry Fitzgerald. And I'm saying, man, when I got to go to, they said, wait a minute, man, you got to get on the plane. You got to go to California. For what? Rookie premiere. What's that? Man, just get on the plane. Get on the plane. Get off the plane. I get off this plane in Los Angeles, and there are people at the airport with just like, back when they had the traffic keepers, just binders of just cars and pictures. One dude had a picture of me unlocking my house into my dorm room, like to my apartment in college. And I look at him, and he knew it was weird. I looked at him, I'm like, and then I say, this is what he said. He goes, you want one? You want one of these? Because I got a bunch. What? But no, Brandon, man, I hope that my story and my life, man, helps people understand that like mistakes are a part of it, right? Being perfect is not. So all these you got to be this, man, football, fatherhood, transition, trials, tribulations have helped me embrace me. Forget what the world gonna say. Man, it took me so long to realize I had to separate my identity from what I did for a living, because it was all intertwined. And that's what I mean, man. Ben Hartsock, tight end, that he was on the Ohio State. He was on the Ohio State team that beat Miami. We got drafted in the same year, same position. And when he came over to the Titans, I mean, I couldn't stand him. You know why? Because he was going to play over me. I'm hurt now. I can't even play.
Right.
But then we had a conversation one time, man. And he was talking about how he was the odd man out, in Indy. Dallas Clark, Mr. No Gloves, can't cover him in the freaking slot. Well, Ben Hartsock is not that type of tight end. He's a blocking tight end, right? Can catch the ball, but not like Dallas. So he was telling me how he was the odd man out. So essentially, we were the same person, right? And the conversation we started having, man, he helped me get back to who I was. I could care less about being a great player. I tell you that. Great teammate though. Oh, I'm the best. I'm the best teammate there is. And my fourth year in the NFL, man, I'm on every special team. I'm on kickoff return. I'm on punt return. I got to run a fake punt. And he helped me embrace my role. I had lost my freaking way. So now, man, I'm telling you, I saw Ben Hartsock at the SEC Media Days in 2018. We all professional. I saw him before he saw me. I said, B Hart turned around. He said, Troupe, man, we forgot where we at. Man, we bear hugging each other, man, talking all loud. Man, they can't kick us out because we got credentials, right? But I'm telling you, man, I learned how to root for people, man. I really learned how to cheer for people, how they cheer for me. So, hey, I'm an author now, man. It's crazy. People like, now I get to do things like this. And I walked away from the limelight, and if I never, ever entered it again, I would be fine. But I didn't know what media did. I didn't know that media came. I got to go to games. Yeah. I got to be on the sideline. What? I got to ask questions. I said, but I do that on the radio. I said, yeah, well, the radio prepares you to go into the stadium. I said, well, I ain't paying for no ticket. I said, no, you get credentials. I said, like tickets? They said, no, that's will call. And I'm just like, listen, just
yeah, hey, the best part.
But it is, man. And being in the press box, creating a new quote team that I'm on. And people still kind of hesitant to come up to me if they know who I am, because they think, okay, former athlete, jerk, I don't want to deal with him. And I'll look at them and say, I don't like jerks either. But sometimes you got to just come up to me. Like, you just come up to me and we can spark a conversation. But yeah, Brandon, man, I live my life as a dream, man. I'm a country boy from Swainsboro, Georgia. My grandma used to have a house that had no indoor plumbing, a cast iron stove, a well, and an outhouse. I grew up in a house like that. I grew up in a 2-bedroom. My great-grandmother had a 2-bedroom, 10-roof house. If you ever live in a house we got a 10 roof, if it's sprinkling outside, it sounds like it's a hurricane out there. But to see where I am now, football gave me an identity, right? It did. It gave me an identity. Leaving football gave me me. Cause now I love it, man. But I'm so much more than that, man. And I tell a lot of people that all the time, man. Like the great Freddie Coleman, who's on ESPN, he'll go, ESPN is what I do. It's not who I am. For a long time, who I was and what I did was the same thing. I was a football player. Let's talk about football. Let's do it. And when football started to fade, I faded. I'm like, dude, who am I? But when I got away from the game, and you get away from all these crazy thoughts you be having, and you start seeing all the CTE stuff and Junior Seau and Larry Johnson, all these guys going, you're like, dude, that could have been you. Like, I'm not that much different from them. So, but here I am, man, raising these kids, being on this radio, talking trash about these Georgia Bulldogs. People think they're going to win it. They're not going to win it. They better not win it. And, just talking about this book, man. And like I said, the Being True Story, Uncommon, Unfinished, man. And forget the Being True Story. The uncommon, unfinished part, that's it. I have a very, very uncommon life. And my life is hopefully far from finished. But that's all in the name. And Entree Drummer, a guy I met in 2020 at East Georgia State College in Swainsboro, where I'm from. I was on the speaking tour. I met him one time, and he the one picked the name of the book. He said, hey, man, you should call it Uncommon. So Entree, the guy who wrote the foreword, also picked the name of the book. BJ, who I just obviously can't get rid of, he wrote the book. So, and here we are, man. Here we are just enjoying this ride.
Fantastic. I can't wait to read it. It was so much fun to talk to you. Pre-order Uncommon Unfinished. You can find it today by visiting BenTroupe84.com. Shipping starts in mid-September. Autographed copies are available as well. Ben, you are a joy to talk to. I hope we can catch up soon, either this way, over the phone, or maybe I'll see you in a press box and I'll approach you, because you are not a jerk. I can confirm.
No, man, we need to try to do all three, Brandon, man. You are now my new family. That's the hardest thing I had to learn to meet is they'll say, hey, Ben, did you get Brandon's number? Like if we was in the press box and we was talking, BJ said, who's that? That's Brandon. Did you get his number? Yeah. He said, go get. So how you gonna, that's what I had to learn. My Rolodex or my contacts got much larger, but it's more immediate.
Sure.
But yeah, man, we colleagues now, man. I mean, make sure we can do this. We can do it on the phone, and hopefully we'll look to have you on our show as well, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ben.
Appreciate it.